How's it going, everyone? This is Mark from the Uncaped Crusaders Review, and this is your weekly Titans review. I'll be reviewing pretty much any DC stuff that comes out on this channel, trying to just keep up with the content. But right now, Titans is the current thing going on. As always, though, make sure and check out me and Ian's podcast, the Uncaped Crusaders Review, available iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, everywhere. Follow us on Twitter at Uncaped Review. And now on to Titans episode 7. And this was the first episode of the show I really did not like. Me and Ian both were not high on the show at all to start with. We thought it looked terrible. But once kind of gave the show a shot, it was surprisingly entertaining. It was decent. I like the characters for the most part. They do a lot of stuff right. Again, we're not a huge fan of this mature R-rated tone, but overall, the show's been pretty decent. I recapped my thoughts on the whole show back in last week's episode on Jason Todd. This episode was the first one I really did not like. I had a bad feeling kind of about it watching the trailer for it. I'm not a big fan of the capture the heroes and then torture them psychologically. It's overdone. It's just kind of annoying. So starting off, the team's together. They're in one of Bruce's safe houses with the doctor or whoever that they kidnapped. They're interrogating him, and he, of course, wants to talk to Rachel, talks to her, says that they have her mom locked up at an asylum. So, of course, she's like, oh, we gotta go get them. And, of course, the rest of the team is like, no, he's probably lying or it's a trap. We need to figure this out first. So right off the bat, this is the first thing I really hated. This is my biggest problem with the CW superhero shows right now, is almost every character is just a complete moron. They're illogical morons that do everything based off of emotion, no matter how stupid it is or how much everyone else says it's stupid, and then they get insulted about it. So of course this one, it hasn't really happened much in this show, which is nice, but then of course we get it with Raven, where she's like, no, we gotta go get my mom no matter what. I don't care how stupid it is. Which again, you understand, but even Dick was not like, yeah, let's not do it. He was like, no, let's make a plan and then go. He's like, no, we gotta do it now. And it's like, oh, great. Already characters being stupid, so that's a turn off for me. So of course, Dick and Corey are figuring out how they're gonna do it. They're not gonna leave her mom, they're gonna try and get her. And then of course, Rachel doesn't even care, goes off with Gar, and they go off to try to do it themselves. Don't even get close to the building, and immediately captured. And you're like, oh, great. You're an idiot. Congratulations. So then, of course, Dick and Corey have to go as well, and it's the classic. They know they're there, so they are holding Gar and are like, we're going to kill him unless you come with us, so they have to go with them. They're like, oh, great. So now everyone's kidnapped. So they do different things to different people. With Dick, they have him strapped up, and they're trying to break him, pretty much. They're trying to break him, and it's unclear whether they know he's Robin. I was confused with that part because they give him a shot of something and he wakes up in a Robin suit and they're like, oh, he's been trained well and he's resisting this drug kind of, so give him more. And they are calling him Dick Grayson. They know he's Robin. He's been trained by Batman and this whole thing. And then he fakes a cardiac arrest after that, beats up the guards, escapes. And there's this whole well done scene where he's, drugged and trying to get through the asylum, and he keeps hearing a voice and he sees a person, and it's a younger version of Dick Grayson, which starts to beat the crap out of him, the younger one, and is blaming him for everything that's happened. It's not Bruce, it's not Tony Zuko, it's all been your fault this whole time, and I hate you, and beating him up. Well, then after he does that, it cuts back and you see him in the chair, not in a Robin suit. So I don't know what the extent of this mental stuff was. I'm assuming now that they don't know his secret identity, which is good because, that drives me nuts. The secret identity just not even mattering in superheroes anymore. In the movies and the TV shows, it's like everybody just knows everyone's secret identity. So it's nice that they held that off with Robin in the beginning of the season, even from the team. And now it seems like that wasn't compromised there, but I'm not really sure how that whole went. So I think it's just internally, mentally breaking him. Then they have Gar in a cage and they're tasing him, I guess trying to get the Beast Boy of him to come out or something. They're experimenting on Corey. They knock her out. She's on an operating table and they're experimenting with her healing ability. And then you have Rachel in the office with the same guy who has now escaped and is there. He's taunting her about she needs to be reunited with her father and he's not going to send her to her mother. And of course she gets fed up with this and kills him. He tried to kill himself earlier. She saved him. and then she unsaves him, so he bleeds out. Then she finds out where her mom is being held, goes down there, finds her mom, has, the Raven mark on her, so the mom, the mom knows it's her, and that was a touching moment. She goes to Gar, finds him, helps unlock him, and then a doctor comes, and Gar goes full tiger and mauls the guy to death. So again, every character on the show is killing people, just straight up mauls him, which is kind of cool. I mean, seeing a tiger maul someone, and then he goes back and he's in shock and that he did this because he's never done anything like that. And then they go into Dick, and he's unresponsive in this chair where they had drugged him. He comes awake, and then they go and save Corey as well. Trying to leave, guards blocking the way, and Dick just goes ham on them, beats the crap out of him. A lot of times when Dick's fighting, you're like, I don't think he's killing people, but these people could be dying. But in this one, they made a point to show them kind of on the ground moaning and still alive, so I don't think he killed him. But then he has Corey blow up the whole thing, so I don't know how many people died in that explosion, but people keep dying. And then another confusing part, he then is looking into the fire watching a Robin suit burn. I think it's just in his mind. He's mentally destroying the Robin suit, but I'm not sure, because then there's a thing of him like throwing, it looks like his mask down or something. I can't quite tell. I think it's in his mind watching the Robin suit burn, because he never really has it at any point in this episode. So it would be interesting to see if there is no more Robin, and if this starts to lead the way to Nightwing, because I'm pretty sure that's how the season will end, is with Nightwing. So yeah, that was it's episode 7, Asylum. And then we saw a little teaser for next week, and next week's episode looks real interesting because we're gonna have the team break up, it looks like, and Dick's gonna go find Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, so we'll be introduced to her, which is a cool character. And it looks like we're gonna learn a lot in this next one, because just from what we've seen with Donna Troy talking about Starfire, and we're gonna finally find out about Starfire, and it looks like some more about Raven. This episode, we didn't really find out a lot other than Raven's mom was still alive. Really kind of it. I mean, there was a little bit of character development, I guess, with Dick and his internal struggle with his younger self. It was an interesting episode. Didn't really do much for me. It's the first episode I really didn't like. So hopefully it gets back on track next week with that one. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully next week will be better. So, yeah, hopefully Ian will catch up. And on the podcast moving forward, we'll really be able to delve into Titans a little bit more once he becomes current. So hopefully that is. So definitely make sure and check out our podcast. Available wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. You can find us on Twitter at Uncaped Review, and all the links to all of our podcast stuff is there. Our most recent episode we just came out, Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. That's the one we're gonna sit down and watch. Kind of a forgotten one with some really good action scenes in it, and a good Bane character in it too. So that's a lot of fun. Next week's episode, we're gonna sit down and watch The Batman vs. Dracula, the 2005 animated film. So we're gonna be watching that next week. So yeah, make sure and check out the podcast. Check us out on Twitter. You can follow us at Uncaped Review, also me at Marky Mark Brandon, Ian at Sir_Rancelot8. So that'll do it for this review. Talk to you guys next week with another Titans review.